So it looks like Holly Berry is 100% Team Kendrick, and I guess this shouldn't be so strange given the strained nature of her relationship with Drake. Halle is one of those few celebrities to have boldly called out Drake for being a weirdo, and it looks like her stance has not changed on the fact that Drake has been catching a lot of heat in the past couple of months, especially with the claims of him being creepy. It's all thanks to Kendrick Lamar. Well, fans have now dug out some insane details about Drake's situation with Barry, and they are sure that he has been stalking her for a while now. So, is Drake quietly in love with her? Barry's situation with Drake happened a couple of years ago when he used a picture of her as his cover art for his record, even when she told him no. If you've been following Drake from his early days in the business, then you'll know that he was totally obsessed with Holly back in the day. He would nearly melt into a puddle whenever he talked about her in interviews. There's no harm in a little crush, but Drake started to get creepy. For example, when she was pregnant, he actually said it was such a shame she wasn't available because he'd totally be with her if she was.
People probably want you to do it too, certain people, like labels. I mean, at the beginning, I'd imagine.
People want me to fall. That's why they want me to do it.
Do you think so?
Of course.
Why is that?
I think there's something to be said for being in this perceived top spot, you know? And and I think as much as people want to be
said it.
You're just go.
Like, boy, have some manners. Naturally, Holly wasn't having any of it, and instead of taking the L with some respect, Drake went full incel and threw shade at her publicly. And this isn't just a one-off stunt. Drake has a track record of this petty behavior. He's done it with Rihanna, Serena Williams, Megan Thee Stallion. You name it first, he'll fawn over these women in the spotlight, showering them with compliments, talking about how great they are, and all that stuff. But when the women turn him down, he goes in the completely opposite direction and starts hating on them and their partners, if they have one. We've seen this happen so many times, and it doesn't look like Drake is changing anytime soon like the other women that he's been obsessed with. Drake dropped Holly on a couple of songs, like on his solo on the Migos song Versus Remix, where he said, "Take a famous girl out where there's no paparazzi. I'm trying to give Holly Berry a baby and no one can stop me." Yeah, that's certainly scary. Now, I know that Drake isn't the only rapper who has called Holly on his songs, because rappers have been dropping her for as back as I can remember, and I can't blame them though, because Holly is fine. She been fine since the 90s, and she's still fine now. But while most other rappers said something flirty in their songs, they mostly kept it respectful, except Drake, who bragged about how he was going to put a baby in her and how nobody could stop him. Yeah, definitely creepy now with Holly paying him dust for more than 10 years. You think that Drake would get the hint, take his L, and move on, right? Well, that's not Drake's thing, as we've learned, so he continued to be messy toward Holly. It got out of hand. Last year, when Drake dropped his first collab with SZA called Slime You Out from his album For All the Dogs, the single cover features a throwback picture of Holly Berry getting slimed at the 2012 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Before we talk about why Holly was so upset and offended by Drake's move, let me spill the tea on this wild conspiracy theory making the rounds. Apparently, some folks think Nickelodeon's slime gag is actually a secret humiliation ritual. Supposedly, the slime is meant to symbolize, well, let's just say it's something super gross and degrading. And when you actually think about it, Nickelodeon got some seriously sketchy vibes with all the Dee Snider drama and those shady allegations about what went down behind the scenes. So with that backdrop, the whole slime thing suddenly feels way darker and grosser. So when Drake dropped the cover art for Slime You Out featuring Holly Berry getting slimed at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, fans weren't having it. They came for him hard, calling him a weirdo and reminding everyone of that creepy line he dropped about wanting to give Holly a baby. Yeah, it was totally giving creep vibes. It wasn't just fans who were mad at Drake for this. Holly was furious over this, and she shaded Drake. She posted a cryptic Instagram message saying sometimes you have to be the bigger guy even if you're a woman. However, fans didn't know the full story and wondered why Halle was salty, which isn't her typical nature. In the comments, a fan asked her what her thoughts were about Drake using her picture for his song, and Halle replied, "Didn't get my permission, that's not cool. I thought better of him," she then said, hence my post. Today, when people you admire disappoint you, you have to be the bigger person and move on, but it didn't end there, because you know Drake has fans who would defend him no matter what. His fans went wild and started to drag Halle, claiming that since the photo was from Getty, Drake didn't need her approval to use it, but Halle isn't the type to let people bully her without setting the record straight, and she quickly made it clear that she was upset because Drake had asked her for her permission. But she had turned him down because she wasn't comfortable with it. This isn't surprising given the slime's shady history, but guess what? Drake just brushed off her no and used the photo anyway. A fan wrote, "While I do understand your side, that photo is owned by Getty Images, so I'm sure he got their permission and paid the fee. Why you mad?" And Halle replied, "'Cause he asked me and I said no. That's why ask if you intend to do what you want to do. That was the F you to me, not cool. You get it, Drake." Ignoring a woman's no well, it's no wonder Kendrick has so much to say about him. A lot of people back then missed the point that Halle wasn't saying it was illegal or that she owned the photos. If that were the case, her lawyers would have jumped in quickly. What she was really calling out was how disrespectful and bizarre it was, especially after Drake acted like he wanted her approval. If this was a one-off and Drake had actually apologized, we might have moved on by now. But let's be real. Drake's got a notorious track record for being creepy and rude to the women he once fayed over. This isn't a random slip-up. It's part of a troubling trend. Drake has been charged multiple times of being a creep, and don't even get me started on Kendrick's claims about Drake being a PDF foul. Now, there's no hard proof of that, but there's no denying that Drake is a weirdo who doesn't respect women, especially those who say no to his advances. I mean, we've all seen personally how he treated Rihanna. He spent years and years fretting over Rihanna, fawning over her, talking about how he admired her, how she was the best thing to ever happen to him, stuff like that.
The first time I met Robin Fenty, it was 2005. She was shooting a music video at a restaurant called Avocado in Toronto. The song was Pond to Replay, and the director of the video was Little X. I was introduced to her as a kid who played background music at the restaurant as people ate their dinner. It's hard to believe that 11 years later, all three of us would come together to create the visual for a song called Work. Today, the world knows Little X as Director X. They know me as Drake and not the kid singing while you order pasta. But 11 years later, they still all know Rihanna as the one and only Rihanna. Captivating from day one, the iconic being that is Rihanna was already at a place where most artists only dream of going. For them, that's often the peak, but for her, that was the starting point, and she has kept ascending to an untouchable level ever since. When it comes to music, she relentlessly takes over the charts with every release. When it comes to performance, they swarm in masses just to be in her presence. Obviously.
But then Rihanna made it clear that she wasn't into him, so he switched up and started throwing shots at her, her new man, and even their kids. Chow Drake is sod AF, so I guess it shouldn't be surprising that he tried this BC with Halle fans. Drake has always come across as arrogant, and he really struggles to accept it when women reject him. him asking Halle Berry for permission, and he used her picture anyway. I just know that man has accusations on his name on top of the pending groomer SLPDF file ones. I wanted it to be known that Drake asked Halle Berry for her permission for something, and she said no. He did it anyway, and Drake is so annoying that he puts out this fake "I love and respect black women," but it's always weird. Behavior like telling Rihanna he loves her on stage at an award show, getting a huge tattoo of Shade's face, and now using this pic of Halle Berry like stopchild is hikey embarrassing for Drake, but y'all drop your ideas in the comments, then check out this next video.